Hello there, everybody. This is Alex from Hardcore Guides, bringing my guide for God of War: Chains of Olympus on God difficulty. Today we are doing part 4 entitled Hades. This is going to, for the most of it, contain, I think, all of Hades, including, I believe, the Charon boss fight, except the Charon boss fight is not actually going to be the complete boss fight. So, it's just one that you basically have to lose. You don't really have much of a choice. You could try fighting him all you want, but he's just going to have like a, end-all, be-all death attack. And something real quick I do want to say, I don't remember how long it's been since I've done a video. I think it's been like a week, maybe 2. And, of course, I apologize for that, but at the same time, I kind of just haven't really felt very motivated to do God of War videos right now. So, apologies, of course, but like, most of the reason why is because I haven't been motivated to do them and just been distracted. And on top of that, I've been having to deal with, like, medical problems, I guess you could say. And that's just been kind of keeping me occupied with that crap and trying to deal with that. And then just trying to relax. And, yeah, everything is just being affected, physically, emotionally, mentally, all that stuff. There's a lot of things going on, especially this month, so that I need to prepare for. And, yeah, it's just daunting. So, kind of expect some slow uploads. Although, I will say, since I'm doing this video right now, which is currently, like, Saturday, the 8th of July, I don't know if I'm going to actually finish editing all these. Also, sorry about my stomach going off, if you hear that in the background. And also, sorry about if you hear any vibrations in the background, too, because, my laundry is going off, and it's, like, a room in front of this desk. So, forgot I was doing that. But, anyway, yeah, Hades is, I wouldn't say... It's got a couple of hard parts, but I wouldn't say it's, like, incredibly difficult. I believe that Tartarus is way harder than this. And then I believe this is our introduction of the new Gorgons. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you can launch them upward. Maybe not. I think there's, like, one that I don't think you really technically could. And also, I don't think this is the type of game that allows you to use the shield to Gorgon freeze, the Gorgon's back. So, I don't think that's really much of an option. Luckily, unlike, God of War 1, we finally get red orbs for, killing Medusas with an execution attack. Although that's, already been introduced since 2 anyway, but, just thought it'd be kind of interesting to remember that, oh yeah, God of War 1 does give you red orbs for executions. At least on Gorgons and Minotaurs. You only get just red, or you only get, like, health and magic and what have you. Oh man, now I'm starting to get kind of dizzy. I don't know. It's hot as fuck. It's just, everything's annoying. Work's annoying. A lot of frustration, has been happening. I know when it comes to my guides, nobody really wants to hear that. And I know that for a fact because there was that one time, I don't remember which one, I think it was Ninja Gaiden 3, where I talked about, I did some little bit of exercise beforehand, so I was kind of out of breath, and then I was continuing to do a video for like 30 to 40 minutes, practically out of breath, and then I still get, like, dislikes on it. And, people have told me before, like, don't worry about them. Like, I understand, but I tried not to, but the problem is, it's not me consciously worrying about it, it's me subconsciously worrying about it. It's a thing that I can't just break away from. Whenever I see hate, or like a dislike, it just sticks with you, it sticks with me, at least, is what I mean to say. And, yeah, it's annoying, but what can you do? I ended up getting a lot of, like, 666 orbs in these playthroughs. I don't know what's up with that. Kind of weird, huh? But, yeah, so we'll see how this video goes. This is where the quote-unquote first potentially hard part of Hades kind of comes from. And it's going to be, of course, having to fight, more than one Cyclops usually at a time with little buggers kind of running amok. So my trick with fighting Cyclopses, especially like when there's 2 of them, and of course in this room as well, is to just essentially just kind of get close, and then when they go for like that, that particular slam attack, that's something to kind of just dodge out of the way and then go immediately for the triangle moves while they're, going for a slam. My idea is to get as far away as I can when they go to slam, which is, of course, something that's I'm sure most people are probably going to do anyway. And of course, yes, I did know that the guy did fly in the air. I saw that, but yeah, Something that you can do, you know, you can always... Wait, actually, I don't think these guys stay alive while the Cyclops are there. So, never mind. I was going to say, if these guys are up while there's a Cyclops, you could always use them for, like, a parry attack and just get, like, a little bit extra damage near them. But, yeah, you know, just kind of throw in a few close hits, dodge away. Especially now that we have level 3 blades, it makes it a lot easier to kind of do the triangle move. Well, it makes the fights a lot easier with the triangle move, is what I mean to say. But right here, I'm just being flashy. I'm just showing off that I can do it. Why not? I got the opportunity. It's a singular, you know, L1 attack anyway, so why not? So yeah, of course, you know, attack them while they're climbing out of their little hole. That's something else, because that a bit of extra damage. And then, you know, focus on another guy, and then go immediately for the Cyclops. Because as you can see, when you get far enough away, they tend to kind of just stop trying to attack you. So that's something good. Now, that pillar back there in the back, I believe you can hide behind that to get some extra damage on them. But you don't have to, of course. Yeah, usually when it comes to Cyclops, blades are typically what I would prefer to use. The Gauntlet is pretty good on its own. Of course, it's actually a really good weapon, and I think I remember using it more often in my Chains of Olympus stream that I did, which I haven't streamed like God of War in a bit. Like, I was supposed to. I think I was wanting to do God of War 3 last week. You know, pretty much after I did Chains, but I just fell out of it, man. You know, like I said, there's been a lot of things going on. You know, not a lot of them are really good, so I'm getting hit with like every little bit of, you know, inch of every dick and balls from life itself, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it at this point, but yeah. I don't know. Just gotta hang in there, like Kratos does. And now, because since it's so damn hot and I'm just like a tad bit hungry, I'm starting to get like a slight headache. And now, listen to me, like I sound like I'm just complaining like a little bitch. And I don't mean to do that like on a video, but not much I can do. I have to explain, like, you know, pretty much where I've been. Well, I don't have to, but I do it anyway because it's that YouTube thing where you feel like if you don't tell people, like, hey, you know, I'm gone, people are going to think you're either dead or they're just going to give up on your channel and just not care about your content anymore. It's bizarre, but, you know, it is what it is. Depends on the channel. Like, if it's a dead channel, for real, you know, I probably will unsub too, because then I'd be like, well, no more videos. I can always just go back and rewatch them. I don't know, that's enough jibber-jabber about crap that doesn't really matter, I guess. So, yeah, the second fight that I would say is hard is, I think it's the one that's coming up pretty soon. At least after all this nonsense, all this platforming stuff. I can see a cut in the footage, so that's probably a good sign that most likely that's where it's going to be at. So, yeah. Now, I don't really remember whether or not the block could be used to get an extra chest. A part of me says yes, but then I don't really remember very well, because like I even jumped back looking at it, and now that I'm looking at the footage again, I don't really see another area where the block could be used to jump onto to get anything. I mean, yeah, there's like nothing here that I could use potentially that I'm aware of, because it doesn't seem like a lot of this really works, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's no extra chest, but, you know, I could be wrong, and with those that might be, you know, following along, or however. By this point, you know, if you're following along with the guide itself, you've probably beaten the game. I mean, really don't think, you know, most people probably need my help that much, but I still do them anyway, just in case somebody, you know, finds this random video, or this particular section might be harder than others, or whatever. But yeah, these guys are just really annoying. The way I deal with them the best is I just typically wait for them to go for an attack and then just go for the parry. Because I feel like parry is just incredibly strong in this game. At least for the blades it is. I mean, yeah, for the fleece, you know, it does damage, but I always feel like it's easier and more controllable to use the blades rather than using the gauntlet. I feel like the gauntlet's a little harder to kind of control from that. Like, I feel like you just don't... Like, you just end up in spots where you don't want to be at after you parry, and then it just... yeah. The gauntlet is really strong in a lot of ways, especially toward, you know, like Cyclopses and Minotaurs and stuff. Like, I know I said earlier that I prefer using blades, which is true. I still prefer using blades, especially on Cyclopses, because I'm just more used to that. That's just a thing that God of War has taught me. over the years. Also, look in the background. I think that's the Tower of Persephone right there. You can even see the Garden of Eden too, which is crazy. But yeah, so Gauntlet's pretty strong against like Minotaurs and such, but you just have to have like really good understanding of how to use it. So these guys, you can parry that attack, that slam attack, and that swipe attack. I found out that you can parry that. I didn't know about that during my playthrough, so I kind of messed up. So the thing that I recommend doing is at least having level 2 and level 2 Efreet, and also just having, for the most part, full magic. That way you can kind of just stand back here, get these two guys grouped up together, and then take them out both at the same time, or at least around the same time. Getting them in circle prompt is going to be a huge benefit. And if for some reason, the magic, you don't have magic or whatever, then maybe try to learn the parry times. That's something else I would also recommend, is, try to get those down too, because that's very beneficial, especially for these guys. Don't use a triangle variant of the parry. Just use a square one. It's way easier, unless they're shielded. Unless they're shielded, then don't use the triangle version, because the triangle version has way too much, animation frames and just end time. Like, it seems like it just, basically it just seems like it just goes on for longer, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's much easier to use a square one, because it's just quick and fast and easy, and it does a hell of a lot of damage, too. Especially for, well, actually, just mainly in this game. I feel like the parry in this game is just a little too strong sometimes, so do bear that in mind if you're going to go that route. Parries are really, really good. You can parry both attacks, like I said. And when the harpies spawn, just immediately just go for the grabs. Don't bother with them. Don't try to... I mean, unless you're really good, unless you feel like you're really good. Then again, if you're really good, why are you watching this? But hey. If you feel like you have enough skill to handle it, then of course using the harpies as a parry could also come in handy too. And this is going to be the introduction of this room. And what's funny is, like, I'm so used to, like, the further part of this game when you come back to this room to break those holes. And it's just, yeah, just ignore the little jingle in the background. I apologize for that if it comes up. That's my laundry going off. I don't know why they need to do that crap. They just do it. But, yeah, it's finally done. Okay, cool. So, this section, I run in the middle. I just go for the magic attack. And, of course, the benefit of the magic attack is at least it breaks shields. So, that's also kind of helpful, too. But yeah, what I was getting at is, like, I could have sworn I was much farther in this guide than I was. But it's been a while. I could have sworn that I've already gotten past Tartarus and did all the talking about that, but I guess not. I think part of that is because when I'm doing the playthrough itself, when I'm actually recording gameplay itself, I tend to have a habit of, like, thinking of the future and being like, oh, well, this is what you do here. This is what you do here. And then it ends up just, for some reason, in my head, being like, well, I already did all that stuff, so, yeah. Also, make sure you grab this chest here before you ring the bell. I think there's only just the one. So, save your game, ring the bell, whatever you need to do. And then after you ring the bell is when you're going to get into a fight with Charon. And I think this is when... Okay, no. I skipped ahead. So, yeah, you just die. That's just reasonably how it is. I don't know why this video is longer than it needs to be. And we got the Tartarus crap. But yeah, I skipped the entire fight because you just die. I just stood there the entire time. And if you don't believe me, then play Chains and you'll find out that I'm telling the truth. These little, prisoners here, they do, of course, spawn health when you kill them. Typically take about, like, 3 hits or so just to die. And the fun thing is, if you happen to save your game and reload your save, then what can happen is you can, I think, get those health orbs back if you reload save. So at least it seemed like it happened to me, because I believe I saved the game here and then quit out. Well, if you do also die, then it'll also just respawn with, green orbs too. And of course, with the way that, God of War is in general, whenever you die, you get your health back somewhat. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind. But anyway, that's it for this, so take care, everybody.